My name's Ralph Skiano, and I'm originally from Alexandria, Virginia. I started with music playing the viola, which is something I don't like to admit in public. But in the 5th grade, I switched to the clarinet because I wanted to play the saxophone, and all the saxophones were taken. And they told me if I tried the clarinet that I could eventually switch to the much cooler saxophone. But that never happened. So I studied privately with a private teacher in the Washington, D.C. area all the way through high school, and then I went to the Cincinnati Conservatory where I did my bachelor's degree. And then I won this job before going on to my master's at University of Southern California. The reason I wanted to stick with the clarinet is because I found out just how versatile it actually is. I mean, you know, being able to play anything from jazz to beautiful solos in the orchestra, there aren't a whole lot of instruments that have that kind of versatility. So I enjoy playing the clarinet all the time, even in the pop shows, even in the classical shows. I mean, it just always seems to fit somehow. Richmond, in terms of the level of orchestra in the country, is actually at the largest end of the regional orchestra spectrum. And so in terms of a first job for me, this was beyond my expectations of what I could achieve and the quality of the orchestra. I think what's unique about the Richmond Symphony might just be the average age of the musicians involved. I mean, what you have here is a collection of young people, all super excited about making music and all extremely professional. So on the one hand, if you're a kid who's growing up in the Richmond area wanting to study music, suddenly you have these professionals in town who can guide that process. But if you're somebody who's 20, 30, early 40s, you have somebody you can relate to sitting on stage. And all these people are so creative and they're so energetic about what they're doing, and they just want to talk to you about it. So, you know, we have these programs where people can come up and sit with us on stage after our Masterworks concert and interact with the musicians. It's no longer a time to be intimidated by that because we're just like you, we're just obsessed with music. So you can listen to music on the radio, which is fine, it's great. It's much different when you see a live performance. There's an energy that's on stage that you can't capture with microphones. And so if you take the example of like the radio, that's one level. You could go to a chamber music concert, which is like sort of the next level up. But going to the full symphony orchestra is the equivalent in my mind of going to the IMAX theater. You know, it's sort of music at its most powerful. And it's kind of a visceral experience because you can literally feel the vibrations coming from the stage. And for a lot of people, that can be a very powerful experience. It can kind of lift you up and take you away. I don't know what people think they're going to experience at the symphony. I mean, maybe they think that people are going to be wearing tuxedos in the audience and everybody's going to be over 65 years old, and I don't know, maybe young people think that they just won't have a good time because of that. But the truth is that I think this music appeals to everybody, number one. But the audiences are getting younger, and the experience is exciting no matter what age you are. I didn't grow up in a musical family. I did go to a conservatory of music, but I always kind of felt like an imposter because everybody else had studied piano and had perfect pitch, and they knew all these things that I didn't know. And so I feel like right now I'm starting to come into an awareness of music that maybe I should have 10 years ago, but it's still fun. So a lot of my hobbies right now deal with talking to people about music and exploring music in different ways, and I'm a big time nerd when it comes to this stuff. I just eat, sleep, and breathe it. You know, if you ask anybody who's a professional musician now, I guarantee you that if you ask them, how did you become interested in music? It's going to be, I went and I saw the symphony perform and it blew me away. And I had to go and be a part of it. So I think it would be sad if a whole generation of people grew up never having experienced the power of a full symphony, never having experienced playing an instrument themselves. I would encourage anybody who's never been to the Richmond Symphony to give it a try. I guarantee you'll love it. You just got to show up. You have to try it with an open heart and open ears, and let it work its magic on you. My name's Ralph Skiano. I play clarinet with the Richmond Symphony, and I'm a Richmonder.